as we await the verdict of the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, I am struck at how this case managed to showcase the lies of the left. Just days after Kyle defended himself from attackers during those riots in Kenosha, Wisconsin, it became clear that the left would use Kyle as their poster child for everything they claim is wrong with America. The only problem is, it was all a big lie. The left is always the first to use lies as a defense. Dishonesty is their go-to tool when attempting to win unwinnable arguments. The biggest lie lobbed at Kyle was really aimed at all of us, that law-abiding gun owners must all be white racists. The media lied by omission here, never truly revealing the fact that Kyle's attackers were all white. Just watch them in action.
What I know is the law, and what I know is what white people are willing to do to defend white supremacy.
Because in these men's minds, they are the law. The only law that matters in America.
The history of judges who are sympathetic to white supremacists.
There's this theme of white wannabe vigilantism.
This is white privilege on steroids.
White men who deputize themselves or were deputized by government to literally hunt down black people.
Now, they're also calling it, as I mentioned, self-defense, but let's call it what it really is here. White vigilantism.
White people are not safe from white supremacy.
The lengths they will go. He shot 3 white men. How is this about race? I have no idea, because they lie. So the next lie came straight from the left's playbook. Call violent riots peaceful protests. But what went down in Kenosha was anything but peaceful. It was a riot. They destroyed property, buildings, cars. They threw Molotov cocktails at police. But listen to the prosecution this week. Offer up the same peaceful protest lie during closing arguments.
Every day we read about heroes that stop active shooters. That's what was going on here. And that crowd was right. And that crowd was full of heroes.
The crowd rioting, burning down stores were full of heroes? See, the left lives to flip the script. The rioters are heroes. Literally, that's what he just said. Black Lives Matter and Antifa goons were terrorizing the streets of Kenosha. And then they will take one event and relate it to another. This is what the left does. Just listen to this tweet from the radical congresswoman from Missouri's Cori Bush. All right, here's how it goes. When we marched in Ferguson, white supremacists would hide behind a hill near where Michael Brown Jr. was murdered and shoot at us. They never face consequences. If Kyle Rittenhouse gets acquitted, it tells them that even 7 years later, they can still get away with it. White supremacists shooting at her? Well, here's the problem. Folks, that never happened either. That's a sitting congresswoman who just lied to the American people. The black police chief of Ferguson says he has no reports of that ever happening. But for Cori Bush, it doesn't matter. You see, her followers will believe the phony story that white supremacists are firing on Black Lives Matter members. It just isn't true. But let me remind you of this. See, the fact is, the last time some sniper fired at the innocent during a Black Lives Matter march, it was a radical cop-hating leftist sniping police officers from a rooftop in Dallas, killing 5 of those officers, by the way.
This was the deadliest day for U.S. law enforcement since 9/11. Police say that a lone gunman, angry about recent police shootings of black men, opened fire on officers as they guarded a peaceful demonstration. During an hours-long standoff, the gunman told police he was targeting white officers. 12 officers were shot, 5 killed, 7 wounded.
See, what Cori Bush did was she hijacked that story and tried to make it her own. It's really despicable behavior. See, we broadcast from Dallas, and I still think about those 5 officers that died that day. So this is how the left wages war on us, by waging war against the truth and by using race to try to divide us. The effects of this can be seen right now as angry protesters head to the streets of Kenosha demanding the jury convict Kyle Rittenhouse. You see them there. That's on the steps of the courthouse. Of course, they will stay there until the jury does what they want them to do. And if they don't get their way, then those protests, here's my prediction, they will turn into violent riots. Because blind liberal zombies are on that steps and they're being lied to that this case is about race. So we did learn something new today. The prosecution star witness, Gage Grosskreutz, the man shot in the arm by Kyle, the guy who admitted that he pointed a gun at Kyle, the same guy with a laundry list of prior convictions. Well, lo and behold, he had a DUI charge dismissed only 6 days before he took the stand. Now, had that charge not been dismissed, Rittenhouse's defense could have questioned him under oath about all his past offenses, which include domestic abuse, prowling, trespassing, 2 DUIs, felony burglary, and the list goes on. It would serve as evidence to the jury that they should be very skeptical of him. But instead, the jury just knows that he's a paramedic helping people that night, a felon with a gun. That's the prosecution's Good Samaritan. It's more lying, sometimes by omission we see it, that could destroy a young boy's life. Once again, the left's only defense are lies, because the truth would demolish them. From the Russian collusion hoax or the China virus, facts mean nothing when Democrats want you canceled, crushed, or convicted.
Grant Stinchfield is on Newsmax every night, fighting for the America First agenda.